Is that a Sesame Street vinyl record? The disco.
I haven't listened to it yet, but I had to buy it.
And everyone is crazy.
Everyone is crazy, including us. Including us. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Challenge Express Choo Choo. We are here. I am Tom, joined by my co-host Nicole, as my brother makes strange noises in his room. Let me close my door.
I thought you were referring to me as your brother, and I was like, not again.
All right. We are recapping Double Agents, episode 18, right? 18.
Technically, yes.
18.
It's the one after 17.
Mainly, yes. That 18 does come after you carry the one, and yeah. 18. Basically, part one of the final we're recapping.
Yeah.
I mean, let's rewind before the final starts, because we didn't start the episode with the final. We started with, celebrating making the final and kind of the storylines heading into the final.
Yeah. Everyone was fresh to death in that
everyone was in the club wearing their best outfits.
I love how they make the best of the lack of clubs and creating your own, like in Floribama Shore.
Let's talk about that show, Nicole. We'll go down a rabbit hole. Yeah. But yeah, they were in the same club the whole season, obviously because of COVID, but they still loved it. You would think they would grow tired of it.
They were like, we're gonna miss you, club.
Yeah. I mean, so yeah, before heading into the final, we can talk about the narratives for each pair. So I mean, Fessy and Casey, they think they're unstoppable. Nobody can beat them. They got this in the bag, right?
It's so funny how cocky they are, and then what happens? It's like, that's karma.
And it's great because we love Cam. If you didn't know, we love Cam and everything that comes out of her mouth. Because the last thing when they were leaving the club, she was like, yeah, Fessy and Casey, you guys are athletically strong or whatever. I don't know. I'm paraphrasing. But yeah. She was like, but one thing all these other teams have over you is experience.
Yeah.
So true.
Because this is Fessy and Casey. Yeah, this is both of their second seasons. Yeah, it's not enough.
They did make the final last season, but they're still new to the game. Every game is different.
But almost them making the final last season is like giving them like a false sense of reality. Like it could be the reason why they are overly confident and cocky. It's like, yeah, you guys are good, but it takes a lot of luck to make it to a final. And like your first season, you made it to a final, like congrats, but it's not always that easy. And they're a little bit overconfident because of that. So everybody else besides Amber in this game, the next amount of seasons is Cam with 5 seasons. So, and then everybody else.
The 2 seasons for Fessy and Casey.
Yeah. And then obviously only 1 for Amber, but then after them, it's like 5, 8, 10, 12, 18. So like you have some seasoned vets in here.
Yeah. Do you think obviously Fessy and Casey came into the show during the Red Skull Twist initiation? Do you think them making the final each season is partly due to this skull twist, or do you think they would have made it either way? I know it's hard to.
I think they would have made it either way because one element that was in both this season and last season was there was a significant amount of people from Big Brother, so they were able to easily form an alliance. Mm-hmm. Now, if they were just like from a random show and they were the only ones from that show.
Yeah, if they weren't able to band together with a group in the house.
Yeah, so they had a couple things. One, they are in shape and can compete, like they can compete. And then they didn't really have to rely on politics too much because they had like 5 other people in the house that were automatically aligned with them. So Yeah, that's luck in my opinion. Where you had somebody like, I'm just like Nam. He's from a show that nobody knows Nam.
Easy vote.
Exactly. So
And
like,
he's as big as Fessy, you know, as strong.
yeah.
Yeah.
A couple other people, even like Leo Rush, like Lolo, like those were all lone wolves that just didn't have like an automatic alliance coming into the house. So Nani and I'm sorry, Casey and Fessy, yeah, I think that they would have competed decently, but they got lucky with the Big Brother alliance. So
Yeah. Next pair, Cam and Corey. I mean, they're both proven competitors.
yeah,
They're veterans, but not as a veteran as like
there are mid-level vets. So
yeah,
Cam's
mid-level
5
vets.
season and Corey's 8 seasons. So I
Yeah,
mean,
so they've proven themselves. They've made finals, so they're just looking for that first win.
yeah.
Leroy and Nani also looking for that first win, but it's a little different than Cam and Corey as they've been searching for that elusive win for so long.
And you know what's funny? Actually, there's a really funny trend with these teams that I'm just noticing.
What?
You have 3 out of 4 of the teams all have almost the same amount of seasons. So Casey and Fessy both have 2. Cam and Corey have 5 and 8, which is like our mid-level. Leroy and Nani have 10 and 12. So that's like your next tier. And then CT and Amber have the most and the least. Amber with 1 and CT with 18.
Yeah, combined 19. Yeah.
That's such a, I don't know, that's a factor in all this. Like,
yeah,
we'll see how that plays out. But
we'll
yeah,
see.
so
and then yeah, like you said, CT and Amber, they're kind of just happy to be in the final and happy considering they don't hate their partner. They don't hate each other. I don't know, they're on like a clean slate. It just seems natural for them.
And I think it works out really well for, I think Amber's a great partner for CT because she has endurance, and that's probably CT's biggest pet peeve is if somebody doesn't have endurance. And Amber knows that CT is a seasoned vet and she is okay with taking direction from him. And CT needs to be giving direction.
Yeah.
So they have a pretty decent dynamic. Cam and Corey have a great dynamic as well. Cam can tell Corey, step aside, I'll do this.
Start eating.
Leroy and Nani have a good dynamic. The only downside of their chemistry is that they're almost like too close of friends that it might be hard to give like tough love or something like that. Like you don't want to insult them. And then obviously Fessy and Casey, no, but Fessy's not a good partner for anybody. So there's never going to be a good chemistry in a partnership with Fessy because
he clearly hasn't learned. He thinks he knows the challenge, but he clearly does not know the challenge. But yeah, I mean, let's get into the final challenge.
Yeah, so before we begin, I don't know if we're gonna post any clips from it, but we did do our finale drinking game like normal, and we did record it this time. But maybe
I don't know. I'll have to rewatch that to see if it's appropriate.
I think we'll keep that in the crypt.
Yeah, lock it away. Maybe down the road if people want it. But
let's just say one of the items was drink every time you want to punch Fessy in the face, and I was drunk.
That alone got us drunk.
Oh.
And looks like, well, I won't jump ahead. But yeah, let's get into the final challenge. So yeah, one team will be purged. TJ lets us know. So part 1 of the final.
Do you like that? Like I
don't mind it.
Yeah.
I'd rather that than like a purge on the first day of the actual challenge, like episode 1.
They do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Third place gets 0. This is where I was a little bit surprised, but pleasantly surprised. Second place actually coming home with something. 100,000.
I like that.
Yeah.
And I like how it's like it's such a small amount compared to first place, like, but it's still something. I like it.
Yeah. And then first place, of course, 900,000.
Yeah, if you come in second place and you go home with nothing, like.
I know. And that's happened in the past bunch of seasons.
But I have to assume they all get paid, depending on how long they stay, right?
Yeah, and if they make it to a final, I'm sure they get paid. And
Yeah.
before Leroy gets a little emotional before we start the final.
Would you say this is like the first time ever he's cried?
Yeah, and when we were watching, I was like, "Is that the first time we've seen Leroy cry?"
First time I've seen him cry.
Happy, like just emotional, just so many emotions going through him. Being partners with somebody who he started reality TV with, running his last final, his last challenge that he's competing on. So,
with his best friend and his girlfriend.
Yeah, understandable that he gets emotional. Hey Barrett.
No, I'm like,
Shh, Barrett. To start things off, they have to run 3 miles in like uneven rocky terrain. We were like, they're just starting? Did they explain the rules? But it was very brief. They have to run 3 miles. Also, there's a hurricane going on, and they're on like the tip of it.
I know when TJ said that, I was like, there goes TJ being dramatic, but it was real.
We saw the wind, and it looked tough to run through.
Well, it looked like the women were the only ones who really caught like a bad element of it.
Oh, right, because of that checkpoint 1 where they almost had to like pause, it looked like, because it was so vicious.
For the guys, it looked fine, but for the women, I was like, oh, like it looks like they can barely move through this.
Yeah. Great final location. Scenery is beautiful. There's ways to make runs seem more exciting or better for the viewer, and I feel like this was one of them. It was a fun run to watch because of all the elements, the wind, the rocks, the hills, the mountains. That's how you keep our attention, I guess, just in a good location.
Remember when Fessy was like, this is like the perfect run for me. Like, I'm so good. This is like the kind of run that I'm so good at. Like, nobody else is. I'm so good at this. It's like,
drink.
Shut up, Fessy. Oh, I hate it.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, first run to the first checkpoint, all relatively close, with CT and Amber finishing first. Fessy and Casey, second place. Obviously, we see throughout the whole episode, Fessy is pushing Casey. Casey's trying to keep up with him. You hear a couple of times where Casey says slow down, but it's almost like Fessy just ignores it and just says, come on, Case, you know.
And like gives her pressure to keep pushing, where it's like, there's a balance. Like, yeah, you want to be like, come on, you could do it. But like, if you see that they're like, I think CT said it. CT was like, I don't know if Fessy realizes this is a marathon, not a race. Like, there's no point to kill yourself right now.
A marathon is a race.
I don't know what the saying was.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah, whatever.
I got you. Same difference.
It's so awesome to see CT and Amber finish first on this, because Amber, rookie, first season rookie, and CT, all Fessy, and the whole like storyline is like, you're old, you can't hang. It's like so satisfying to see this.
Yeah, especially as like an OG fan, you know, seeing CT get the better of the new buck Fessy, who talks all this shit and is so.
I just want Fessy to look dumb, so.
I
just want Fessy to look dumb, so I'm so happy that like CT is doing a good job.
I want Fessy to look dumb too, but I feel like this is almost like a scapegoat for him. Like, he's gonna use this as an excuse to be like, I would have won this final if my partner.
I know, totally. He won't ever take any accountability or blame for it. No.
So yeah, in the order, CT and Amber, Casey, Fessy, Corey, Cam, Leroy, Nani.
And Leroy and Nani were like, kind of like, not far behind, but not close. And Nani is going to ruin it. She's gonna ruin. You have faith in her.
No, not to win. Hold your horses.
You're always sticking up for her.
No faith in mediocrity. All right.
Yo, I think it was like last podcast, you were like, I told you she's super mediocre, but like slightly more now. I'm like, that's not a good thing. I don't know why you stand up for her.
Hey, I mean, they're gonna make it past day one, looks like, only because of the injury.
only because.
Well, who knows? Because we'll get there.
Yeah.
Checkpoint 1 is actually the first daily challenge of this whole season. Episode 1, the first daily challenge.
Oh, yeah.
So TJ says a massive advantage to the winner. And
I guess it is if you want to take it.
yeah,
I kind of like how you don't have an option. Like if you don't do it, then you just don't get anything.
Yeah.
Right?
What do you mean? If you don't use the advantage to switch a partner?
Yeah.
Yeah, you just don't get anything.
Yeah. Because like what
That's
if you
why it was kind of underwhelming.
Yeah, because like what if it is a big deal, but like
Yeah.
what if you at this point everybody in the finals pretty solid. So like what's the point of I don't know.
Would Leroy have left Nani? I don't think he would have.
I don't think he would have, but he should.
Right.
He should have picked Cam. And then Nani couldn't get upset if he
but then it's like you gotta spread out to secure.
I know,
that
but think about this. For if they both were a pair and came in first place, they'd be going home with 900,000. If Leroy was in first and Cam's in second, they're going home with 450 plus 500,000.
Yeah.
So it actually could be the difference of an additional like 450,000.
Yeah, it could, but it also could not. And
if one of them comes in second, then they're going home with 50,000.
100,000 because they're both taking it home. If Leroy and Cam were partners, I think we're on different pages here.
Hello?
Are we talking about the challenge?
Who are you?
I don't know. Who are you? How did we get here? Anyway,
all I'm saying is like I don't think Nani would have gotten upset if Leroy was like, Nani, I love you, but I want to finish my last final with my girl.
Honestly, I don't think Nani would get upset either way because Nani knows she's not like the best runner.
All of her confessionals are she's like, I'm gonna ruin this for Leroy. I'm gonna ruin it for Leroy because she knows that she sucks and she's gonna ruin it for Leroy.
She doesn't suck. She's mediocre.
She's super mediocre and she's gonna ruin it for Leroy, who's slightly better than super mediocre.
Yeah. So this daily challenge or this checkpoint 1 was kind of more of a physical battle than we saw the first time it was played through. Less people, so it was easier to tell what was going on. We saw Fessy maybe a little bit too focused on the wrestling aspect of this checkpoint and really wanted to show it to CT. But CT ends up getting the better of him as he wins the first checkpoint, continuing his freaking dominance in this final, playing a perfect final.
Yeah, so far perfect. He's such a fucking threat.
Dude, it's crazy. And Leroy keeps saying, he's like, this is why I didn't want to let this dude in the final.
Yeah. But instead, I think it was Nani gave him a free ride to the final because Nani picked Kyle.
That's true. That's true. And then it would have been CT versus like Fessy and like
in
a brawl, maybe. That's,
Yeah.
Also, I mean, then the women's heat, we also see it get a little bit physical when Amber steals it from Casey. Casey throws her down. Yeah. But again, Amber gets the better of all of them, and she shocks me at least.
Dude, she shocked the world.
She did, yeah. I would say so.
Cam was probably gonna be a close second, but you can even see Cam was like, "How did I not
really?
This?"
Really, TJ?
Yeah, that was crazy. She shocked everybody there.
Yeah, so I mean, the advantage, of course, was being able to switch partners, but Amber sticks with CT, so.
But only Amber had that advantage.
Yeah, because she had the best time overall. She had a faster time.
So CT gets nothing for coming in first.
Yeah.
What the hell's the point of that?
Yeah, I mean, I would hope when I hear advantage in a final, I think head start. I think giving a disadvantage to somebody. Yeah. I don't think. I mean, obviously, it was trending with the whole season of switching partners and whatnot.
Yeah, but CT literally came in first place in that checkpoint and then the challenge, daily challenge, and he gets nothing.
Right, I know. And then it's, you get the little bit of head start because you got to the first checkpoint quicker. You get a little bit of a head start to checkpoint 2. but
Yeah.
that had nothing to do with the activity they did on checkpoint 1.
So the actual activity, only one, whatever. Okay. I
Yeah.
can keep complaining or I can move on.
Right. So yeah, they start to checkpoint 2 as the pairs are released in the order in which they arrived at the first checkpoint. So now it's 2 miles on the coastline to obtain a key to unlock a box at their next checkpoint. Also, this run was really fun to watch. It was obvious, like I said, on the coastline, a lot of rocks.
Yeah.
And this is where Casey does get injured. Before that, Fessy and Casey do take the lead and get to that key first. And on the way back, they're still in the lead, but come on, Case. Let's go, Case. Pick it up, Case. And Casey ends up misstepping. It's almost like, because you got to be so careful in that terrain.
Yeah, but if somebody's like in your head giving you pressure and making you frazzled, that's when you make mistakes.
Yeah. And yeah. And so
And you know what? She takes it. She takes some of the blame too. Like she should have been like, Fessy, I need to take a break. Like I understand you don't, but I do. And she shouldn't have allowed herself.
Maybe she was a little bit embarrassed that she wasn't able to keep up with Fessy because
she was, because all they kept talking about how we're the team to beat, we're gonna win this. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah. I agree. Fessy, and then so yeah, I mean, yeah, Casey gets injured.
She goes, I heard it pop.
Yeah, she hears it pop. She's in a lot of pain. Seems like she's crying. And I remember, I think back to the episode before our episode recap for 17, and I was like, I want to see somebody get under Casey's skin. I want to see her react to something.
Well,
we got it, but I didn't really want it this way.
No, it's sad. It's like I don't like seeing anybody get hurt, but seeing her being like, Fessy, I'm like, oh my God, this poor thing is like.
Yeah. And in the confessional, she's very emotional, and I think this makes her more likable. I like her more because of this, because we see how much she cares about competing and what it's doing to her being injured in this moment of time. So
yeah, and let's just hope this injury isn't something that like prevents her from competing next season.
I think 37 season that cast is out, and I'm pretty sure she's on it. So
okay. Yeah. Fessy, did I mention I don't like him?
Fessy, who?
So when she's hurt and she's freaking out and she's in pain and she's crying and she's on the ground.
And she's your friend, apparently?
And he's just sitting on a rock, like, annoyed. Like, I get that you're annoyed. Everybody understands that, but you're supposed to at least pretend.
He's acting like this partner, he's never met her. She's just some stranger to him.
Oh my God. And then the way that he acts with the eating, like, he's awful.
It's embarrassing. It's pathetic. It's awful.
Like, if you even care about her, like a tiny bit as a friend, show her some comfort, eat the fucking food to make her feel better, even though you know.
Yeah, everyone makes it to checkpoint 2, and remember when we were watching Fessy and Casey wrapped it up barely and was struggling so much, and we're just like, fucking carry her, help her.
You just like had a hand on her like this, like, oh yeah, like you need to at least like, or carry her, you idiot. Oh God, I hate him so much.
It's the worst.
He's so awful.
But yeah, so checkpoint 2 real quick. We got fish eyes. It's an eating checkpoint. We got fish eyes. I tried to pause the screen and see what exactly they were eating because it was hard. So yeah, fish eyes, liter of blood. Whose blood? Don't know. Sheep heart, sheep face, I think a kidney, and I think a snout. We saw like a snout on the table. And the classic ram testicle.
You always get that. Yo.
That's a lot of food.
Just like in Floribama Shore.
What?
Testicles.
What oh right, yeah. Or was it also ram testicles
It
on
was
the
bull.
bull?
Is that the same as a ram?
I
I
think
don't know.
that's a type of ram. Oh, the female version. Wait, females don't have balls though.
Do we
I
need to
don't
have a
know. They're in
talk?
they're in the same family. I'm pretty sure.
Do we need to have the talk? Um, there is absolutely nothing more disgusting than throwing up blood of a different animal that you just drank. That is drinking blood, like I'm gonna throw up. That is
I don't know. I think throwing up sheep face might be more disturbing.
oh sheep face. No, the thought of drinking blood is makes me so sick.
Yeah, I guess that doesn't make me as sick as you, but I mean, obviously it's sick. But I'd rather drink blood than eat most of those things on that.
No.
I don't know. Well, if you're CT, you just make a science out of it. You take the ram testicle, you wrap the sheep face around it, you put it in your mouth, and you wash it down with some blood. Duh.
I'm so upset right now. Can we? That's so gross. Remember when I was like, in the next on, you see Amber throwing up. She's either throwing up blood or red food, and it was both.
It was both.
It was.
Yeah, man, you got to give it to Amber too. She did eat a lot, and she had that actually the second most throw ups. And the only reason why I'm counting is because we have a fantasy league for this.
Not only is it on our fantasy, but it was one of the items of the drinking game. So
yeah, I'm pretty sure we just quit at that point.
Yeah,
we were like, we can't keep up. Yeah, I mean, Fessy thinks Casey can't continue and is using that as an excuse to not eat this food. But
that's quitting. Like, if you have not heard like the horn or TJ hasn't said like you can't continue.
Yeah, this is to get past day one.
This is for $1 million. Like, yeah. You're a bitch.
You're gonna bet on her not being able to continue and you being eliminated because of that.
Yeah, like you're making a lot of
for a chance at 900,000.
Yeah, he's making a lot of assumptions, and it's because he wants to be able to be like, "Oh, it's Casey's fault." It's like, no.
And he's making a lot of assumptions because he doesn't want to eat.
Yeah.
We've never seen him eat yet, so this is what we think he's capable of. Not being
the one with Nani. Remember, he was like pretending to throw up or something.
Yeah, when he was with Anissa because he didn't want to win the challenge. But yeah, this is more extreme.
That's for $900,000.
Just standing there while Casey is shoving all of this in her mouth with one leg, crying.
I know. It's so messed up. I love how Leroy calls him a pussy because somebody needed to.
Yeah. Yeah, pussy. That was funny.
Yeah. I was like, thanks. Yeah. Somebody called him out because he's being awful. Like,
yeah, Casey was begging him to eat. I wonder what their relationship is now.
She has to regret leaving Leroy.
Oh yeah. But like, is Fessy a friend you want to have right now, Casey? Like in the future? Like, are you gonna be teaming up on this future season?
Pretty sure Leroy was a better friend.
Yeah. Definitely. I mean, I got so much notes just saying, how can he do this to her?
Yeah.
But CT and Amber win checkpoint 2, continuing their fucking perfect game.
They are, perfect game. They are killing it. I mean, you can't help to think that they're the favorite to win. Like,
right. And their reward is being able to sabotage another pair by giving them
with a plate of food.
By giving them some yummy desserts, sheep organs, and some more blood. I'm assuming this is sheep blood. There's a lot of sheep parts they're eating.
It makes me so sad.
So I mean, that's where the episode ends. It's a cliffhanger. Who will they give that disadvantage to?
Oh,
who will they choose? Who should they choose? And I think this is like one of the few, if not the only departments where CT does seem to struggle a bit. It's making like late game decisions about who to throw in, who to give disadvantages to, he usually makes the wrong decision in my eyes. I think back to like Battle of the X's when he could have thrown in Bananas and Camilla against like Ty and Emily, and he didn't for some reason. But that's besides the point. The challenge fans will know what I'm talking about, all right?
Such a specific.
Hey man, challenge fans will know. Trust me.
Well, let's see. So I think he should throw in Cam and Corey. I think he should give it to Cam and Corey.
I do as well.
Okay.
Because
Because like some people were saying, well, give it to Fessy and Casey so you put the nail in the coffin. It's like
the nail's in the coffin.
the nail's in the coffin. Like she's injured and there's gonna be more endurance and running. There just is. So
Yeah.
I think the next best team was Amber and I'm sorry, Cam
I think
and
you
Corey.
bet on being able to outrun a one-legged woman, a one-legged Casey.
And even if she does hobble along, their team chemistry, Fessy and Casey's team chemistry is so messed up right now that they're gonna sabotage themselves. You don't need.
Yep. Yeah, I think they should choose Cam and Corey as well. Cam and Corey struggle the most with the food, it seems.
Yeah.
Corey, like Cam says, has a lot of heart in eating food, but is not that great at it, as we see him just throw up constantly.
Oh my God, if they give it to Fessy and Casey and then Casey has to eat all of it because Fessy's not doing anything.
It'll make Fessy look even worse if that's possible. I don't think it is possible, though.
Well, now if CT was the pick with his emotions, he would give it to Fessy, right?
If he what?
If CT was like to pick with his feelings.
I think CT makes like, that's what I'm saying with like late game on the spot decisions when he has power. I think he might think that the smart decision is to give it to Fessy and Casey, even though
Just
I
to
don't
like
think it is.
confirm that they're out of the game.
Yeah. But if you use your head, Nani is not going to be able to keep up with you. Cam and Corey have a chance to keep up with you. Cam's really good at puzzles, you know? Give them this disadvantage.
Yeah. We'll see though. I mean,
but how will they continue? Because people still didn't finish their food. CT and Amber did. So the people they give the dessert to, do they have to finish the food on their table and then eat the dessert? And does like the checkpoint continue? It's like, all right, continue eating until you're done.
Yeah, and then you get a second, third, and fourth.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Because they kind of stopped it and we're like, all right, CT and Amber are winners.
Yeah,
but only to give them the advantage, I guess.
Yeah, maybe it's just the plate then, and it's not.
Yeah, maybe it is just the plate and then everybody else. But how will the team get eliminated today? It must be whoever doesn't finish their food last or make it to a certain point after finishing the food.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was a great final. My guy Adonis, Too Much Challenge on Twitter, posed a good question. He was like, what's your favorite final since season 30, which was Dirty 30, if you remember. And I think this finals and Dirty 30 are the best in the last 7 seasons.
Yeah, so far I'm really happy with this. We had eating, which was a big thing that you and I have been talking about all season.
Yeah, and they went overboard on the eating, which I love.
Yeah, and it was like not just like a minor eating element. Like,
and you heard Leroy say, like, Fessy, eating is a part of the challenge. Like, you can't do this.
Yeah. So I'm really pleased to see that. I'm pleased to see all the endurance, the puzzles. Like, it's exactly what I would want to see, and then it's beautiful, the background. So
only thing is the lack of good advantages for checkpoints.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. But yep, I mean, that wraps it up. Don't really know much for part 2. We assume Fessy and Casey are getting eliminated. And then it's the 3-pair race. All right. Well, yeah, that wraps it up. Looking forward to part 2 of the final, wrapping this season up. Thanks for joining.
Is that a Sesame Street vinyl record?
You just noticed that?
The disco!
I haven't listened to it yet, but I had to buy it.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
I know. Maybe I'll open it when you come and visit.
All right.
I'm glad you noticed it. I'm surprised.
Wow.
Shooter.
I'm so intrigued. All right.
All right, yeah. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks.